most concept brand rowing machines, the minimum buy-in price is $400 or more. It seems unbelievable that Stamina would be offering their body Trac glider 1050 model, often for less than $150. Can a rowing machine this cheap really be worth the purchase? Assembly of the unit is simple. The instructions were clear, the included wrenches and screwdrivers are a welcome addition, and it all came in a relatively small box. On my own, I was able to assemble it fully in less than 20 minutes. As far as daily use goes, I'll start with the positives first. This machine is incredibly easy to store. When standing upright, it has a footprint of about 2 square feet and is a little over 4 feet tall. The arms are orbital rowing arms, which isn't often seen on rowing machines. Honestly, it makes the experience feel more like rowing an actual boat, which is a plus in my book. These arms can be folded in and out after taking out the side screws, creating a more compact machine for storage purposes. The piston providing resistance to the machine has 12 levels of resistance. I usually put the settings somewhere between 9 and 10. The progress tracking screen is simple but functional. You can have it focus on your time, row count, calories, or your total rows. To switch between these, simply press the button on the unit. There's also a scan mode that cycles through the different indicators. I found myself using this one the most frequently. To reset your indicators for a new rowing session, just push and hold the button on the unit. One of my biggest concerns when purchasing the machine were reviews that I had seen on Amazon where people complained that they were too large for the machine or that their feet would slip out of the pedals and they would have to do some kind of DIY solution. I'm 6'3" and 150 pounds, and I had very few issues with using the machine. It'd be nice to be able to move a little bit forward, but it's really a minor complaint. As far as the foot pedals go, I've had no issues at all. I found that the lip for the foot pedals, while small, is adequate to hold my feet in with any shoes that I decided to wear. On top of that, I was able to often go without wearing shoes at all if I was planning on rowing for 20 minutes or less by positioning my heel in the bottom left section of each holder for the right foot and then the bottom right section of the holder for the left foot. And, of course, the biggest selling point of this machine was the price. At the time of this review, the cheapest prime option was $108, with the cheapest non-prime option for $70 plus $24 shipping and handling, although that one ships from China, so you'll have to try your luck with that. Of course, with the low price comes some downsides as well. By far, the largest issue I've had with this machine is the noise. After the first time I used it, the bolt below the machine connecting the arms to each other got extremely loud to the point where I could be heard rowing from almost anywhere in the house. 2 weeks further down the road, the joints in the arm had started creaking as well. If you have the time, this is a relatively quick fix. You can just pop off the caps on the screws, put some Vaseline or machine lubricant on the bolts, and then reassemble it. It took me about 15 minutes to solve the squeaking in the main bolt, and I plan to fix the squeaking in the arms here soon. Since I was able to fix it so quickly, this wasn't really a huge con, but it's definitely something to consider. The next issue I found with this machine was the seat. While it's fairly comfortable for short 15-minute rowing sessions, the lack of cushioning can really be felt around 30 or 40 minutes of rowing. While I understand Stamina going with the piston for the resistance on the machine, it comes with all the cons a resistance piston would normally have. This thing gets extremely hot. For 15-minute sessions it was fine, but if you're going for 30 minutes or more, I wouldn't recommend touching it for a while. Two other things I noticed with the piston were the difficulty and the smell. As you use the machine over a longer period of time, the resistance started to decrease. Honestly, it wasn't a huge issue for me, because the decrease begins around maybe 25 minutes or so of rowing, and by that time my arms and legs are pretty fatigued. If this is something that bothers you though, you may have to stop and increase the resistance setting halfway through your rowing. I had to do this a few times. As I mentioned before, occasionally the piston will start to smell. This is primarily from the heat generated by the piston. While you're rowing, it's not noticeable. However, when you go to store it, you'll notice a bit of smell, as when you carry it, you carry the piston a little closer to your face. This wasn't something that was a huge deal for me. I would just keep a window or open or maybe a fan on while I was rowing. But if you're more sensitive to smells, you may want to take that into consideration. One of the last things I didn't really appreciate about the Stamina Body Trac 1050 is the fact that when you're carrying it, oftentimes I found that the scanner indicator would get in my way when I'm trying to carry it. So It does weigh in relatively light at 35 pounds, but if you're trying to carry it, it can sometimes be a little bit awkward as the scanner unit often gets between your legs and makes it difficult to carry. Overall, the Stamina Body Trac Glider 1050 is an excellent purchase. If you're a bodybuilder or if you have lots of muscle strength, this probably isn't the machine for you. However, if you're looking to see some improvement in the strength of your back, arms, legs, and core, as well as a little bit of cardio, this is the machine for you. Thanks so much for watching this review. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one.